Talismans are by far the best way to increase your damage. Or are they? Anyways, in this video I'll be checking if they are actually worth it. So yeah, if this helps, share it with your friends if you have some. Anyways, without wasting too much time, yeah, some numbers. Now I'll be testing the damage with 3 different talisman tiers. Absolute casual at 332 MP, 510 where you're still an absolute casual, but now in gold. And finally, human rights at 1100 MP. Also, I'll be testing setups for both mage and melee. Now for mages, I'll be using Burning Aurora and a Hyperion. Yes, that one hot potato book makes a massive difference. And the Bizarre Reforge, which is the most expensive mage reforge you can get. Now as a mage with 332 MP, I get 533 intelligence, which allowed me to deal 1.886 million damage outside of dungeons. Also inside dungeons, something really messed up. So I was only able to test it for 250 MP, and with that I was able to deal 28.5 million damage. Now to get 332 MP, you're probably gonna have to spend around 40 million coins. Now the math could be wrong, because I just threw the data I found in a talisman price calculator. Also, I haven't really considered a lot of the quest talismans that you can technically get for free, but even with the 40 million coin price tag, it's well worth it, because it gives you almost 500 intelligence with Bizarre and over 400 intelligence with Sighted. Now as a mage with 510 MP, I get an extra 811 intelligence, which allowed me to deal 2.015 million damage outside of dungeons. Also inside of dungeons with 510 MP, I was dealing 29.1 million damage, making it only slightly better than 322 MP. Also to get that much MP, you will need to spend almost 200 million coins on talismans. Again, the accuracy could be all over the place, but I spent a decent amount of time calculating this. But honestly, someone really needs to make a bot for this. Like, throw in the MP you want and it gives the optimal path with the estimated cost. Anyway, finally with 1100 MP, I was able to get an extra 1496 intelligence, allowing me to deal almost 2.3 million damage outside of dungeons and slightly over 30 million damage inside of dungeons, which is obviously trash, especially when you consider the fact that it costs over 1 billion coins to reach 1100 MP. Now for melee, I'll be using Trash Crimson and a Shadow Fury. Yep, the budget fell off. I know falling off is sad, so please sub, I don't want to fall off. Anyways, with that, I used the Hurtful Reforge, which is one of the best melee reforges you can get, because it gives a decent amount of crit damage and strength. So as a burst with 332 MP, I got 59 strength and 237 crit damage, which allowed me to deal between 168 and 172 key damage outside of dungeons. The number's inconsistent because my sword had Swarm in it. Anyways, with this, inside of dungeons, I was able to deal between 5.4 and 5.5 million damage. And yeah, just like Mage, spending 40 mil on this is well worth it, because it gives an insane stat boost, like 50 more strength and 200 more crit damage. Now with 510 MP, I got an extra 90 strength and 361 crit damage, which allowed me to deal between 240 and 250 key damage outside of dungeons. Also inside of dungeons with 510 MP, I was dealing 6 to 6.1 million damage, which is a much more significant upgrade compared to Mage. So yeah, this upgrade is well worth it for melee. Anyway, finally with 1100 MP, I got an extra 166 strength and 665 crit damage, allowing me to deal between 340 and 350 key damage outside of dungeons, and slightly over 8.3 million damage inside of dungeons. And yeah, this is really good. Now, this was not just caused by the extra MP I got. It's actually like this, cause to reach 1100 MP, I got a bunch of dungeon talismans and recombobulated all of them. And dungeon talismans get a boost when in dungeons, giving a much greater stat boost. Also, I was using a tier 7 master skull. But again, is the price of over 1 billion coins worth it? Well, in my opinion, it depends. Like outside of dungeons, it doesn't really matter, but inside of dungeons, it's well worth it. Especially for people who use Terminators, cause this makes getting 400 crit chance way easier. Now, I'm not saying that talismans are worthless outside of dungeons. I'm just saying that it's not the best bang for your buck. Especially outside of dungeons. You can get 1100 MP after getting other upgrades first. Now I'll be answering some questions you might have.
How did you check the price of talismans?
I used a Discord bot and the /accessories command.
Array talismans les för mages.
As shown earlier, talismans don't make a massive difference for mages, especially inside of dungeons. But you're not always gonna play mage, so invest in some talismans. There's also another reason I'm gonna talk about later.
What power stone should I use?
Now for melee, the best way to increase your damage is keeping your strength and crit damage relatively the same. Like having 1000 strength and 1000 crit damage is way better than having 1600 strength and 500 crit damage, even though the total is actually higher. Also try to get more attack speed. For melee, the soft cap is around 82, but for archers, try to get 100. I recommend Hurtful, Scorching, or Itchy. For mages, just get Bizarre or Sighted. Also get every single upgrade that gives ability damage, like Beacons, Helmets, and the enchanting skill.
Should I always buy the cheapest available talisman?
Now getting cheap talismans is good, but certain talismans have a much more important purpose. Like all the dungeon talismans are insanely OP, because they give more class XP, dungeon XP, better loot, more stats, or reduce your risk of getting screamed at by 12-year-olds. And certain Slayer talismans are a must-have, unless you plan on cheesing the boss, like the Ender Relic for Void Loom. And bye. If you watched the video up to and I think that thank you for much more like this still on left, you know much more warning, you want to write it on so speed land number, maybe on score, I don't know if you comment in the comments.